Hello, what's up everyone? I'm back again with another video, and today I will be talking about the Sway Windows Manager. Before that, I want to tell you first that I'm using Alpine Linux. Some of you might know, some of you might not, but this Alpine Linux is basically a GNU/Linux distribution that's really minimal, to the point that it's using muscle libc. In fact, if you see here my df-h, that's two digits the root directory, and the root directory is only using 18.19.1 gig. What that's really is that really it? That seems like a lot for Alpine, but I guess it's full. I'm not sure if it's really 18.1, but I guess it is. Oh, I guess it is because I've already installed lots of stuff here. Yeah. Yeah, I think 18.9.1 seems good. Yeah, this is 18.1 because I have already installed uh, lots of music and stuff. But I think if you just install Windows Manager with this, like this one is Sway, I think it would be under 2 gigs total in this total use space in your system. So it's really small. Now that we have finished talking about Alpine and whatnot, next is gonna be about Sway. And well, let's see the name first. Sway is an i3 compatible Wayland compositor. So this is an i3 version of Wayland. So i3 is another Windows manager that's available in Xorg. You can read the description here. Behave exactly like i3. In fact, you can use the config of i3 in Sway. Here are the configuration. It's recommended to use this because that's the first priority, but it's going to check for the config. Where are the other part? Yeah, whatever. Let's just see my config here. That config, Sway config. Okay, unlike Xorg, Wayland actually put their input devices in the Windows Manager. I don't know if it's just Sway or not. I actually haven't deep dive into Wayland and whatnot. But yeah, it seems like this is true for this, since I don't think I have seen any composter or whatever for Wayland. So yeah, compositor is with the Windows Manager. I think that's how Wayland works. Now this is the wallpaper, whatever, right? No one cares. Here is the colors and blah blah blah. Let me also just tell you about the layout of Sway. Most of you might know about i3 already, but maybe some of you don't know. So I'm gonna introduce you to i3 as well as Sway. So when you hit in here, I have already bind my terminal to be open with mod return. As you can see here, when I hit mod return, it will execute the terminal, and I'm actually going to show key here. So when I hit super and return, it will give me the terminal. I'm gonna put the brightness up again, and then let's see the layout. So yeah, when you hit mod return, it will open up the terminal. When you hit mode return again, it will again open another terminal and also resize your previous window, so you don't have to manually resize everything, and you can see everything that you are doing, and that's good, you know. That's what doing work is all about. You need to see stuff, so everything don't get stuck on top of each other, and that's good. That's the idea of Windows Manager and why it's so good to people. And they don't have to use their mouse or touchpad all the time. And when you hit mode return again, it will be like this. This might look ugly to you if you have used GWM before, because this will be this seems like a stupid resizing, right? So you can actually split using this split option in Sway or i3. When you hit Super V, in my case, it's gonna split vertically instead of horizontally, because horizontal is before this one. So yeah, it's going to split like this, more like EWM style kind of stuff. Now there is another layout that you can use, that is stacking. So when you open up this terminal, you can use mode S. Now when you open up another terminal, it will be like stacking the windows on top of each other, but you can switch to it through this thing up here. Now normally it doesn't look blue and white. This is blue and white because I like it to be like that, but because I don't like to use this, okay, so I just like to use this part, right? That's why I just set it to so that when it's active, it's going to have blue what is it, what's the name, blue background stuff, blue edges, and when it's inactive, it's gonna be a white background or white edges. So that's how it is. But yeah, normally it would look like this here, and on the right side it has foot, and then the white, I don't think it's supposed to be white, I think it's supposed to be foot as well. Foot is the name of the terminal, by the way. So yeah, in this stacking option, you can have NeoVeg. Let's say you have NeoVeg on this window, you have HTOP on this window. Now you can switch through it with a click. I don't know if you can switch through it with a... Oh, you can also switch through it with a keyboard with Shift J and Shift K. If you want to switch it so that NeoVeg is on the bottom row, then mod Shift J will change that. Now the top row is HTOP and not NeoVeg. So that's the stacking option. Another option is the tab one. Let's try that out as well. Mod Shift, what is it? Mod W. Okay. So that's the mod for tabbing. Let's try HTOP here, and let's try NeoVeg here, and try pveg here as well. Why not? Now, unlike the previous one, which is Super and J and K, this one uses Super H and Super L to switch through, which also makes sense because you are switching through to the left or to the right, unless unlike the previous one, which is to down, right, and upwards. So again, if you want to switch to the tabbing position, you can use Shift, or you can also reconfigure it in the binding in the config section. Layout toggle split, I don't know what this is. Layout toggle split, oh, this is for, okay, yeah, layout toggle split is just for this one. So when previously you have a layout of vertical or horizontal, it will toggle that. What happened if I use this? Let toggle split. Oh, it will be just normal. Okay, so that's like a toggle split. It's pretty cool. And then floating toggle. Oh yeah, this is for floating. That is mod shift space, right? Mod shift space. So this means that this is just the normal Windows, what is supposed to look like if you're not using a Windows manager. And let's do that. If you wanted to go back, you can do mod shift space or mod E no. So mod E doesn't work for this one. Okay, so yeah, you just put that in place like that. Mod A focus parent, or you can try all of those out. You can also have scratchpad here, as you can see. If you don't know what scratchpad is, because again I want to introduce you to the new people that's new to this Windows Manager stuff. Wow, it looks nice. This Windows Manager stuff, what it's all about and what's really nice about it. So scratchpad is actually for this thing, where if you want to hide something, like let's say I have profanity running here, profanity, and I don't want this to be in my screen, but I also don't want this to be stored in, honestly you can store it in space like this, in 9 or 10, that way you don't care about it, but when you want to see it, you can just go to this tab right in your Windows. Oh yeah, by the way, you can switch through tab like this, mod shift 2, mod shift 3, mod shift 4. These are all of the we name it tab because you can switch through it. But if you don't want to store your Windows that way in here, maybe you want to hide it for some kind of purposes, you can use scratchpad and do mod shift minus in my case, and this will store that away and you don't have to see it. Your mother doesn't have to see it. Your guest doesn't have to see it when you are sharing your screen or something, right? Now if you want to bring it back, use mod minus and it will still be there. As you can see, it's here. You can also store multiple of stuff here, by the way. Let's say I have profanity, I have htop running, and neofetch as well, why not? So let's do mod shift minus. Now it's all gone. If I want to, now you can only cycle through them one at a time. You see this, cycle through them. You cannot actually see all of them at the same time. To do that, you need to do mod minus. Now mod minus again. Now it's gone. Mod minus one more time. This will bring up htop. Mod minus. Now this is the last thing that we put on our scratchpad. There is profanity. If you want to see all of them, there is no option like that. You can only put mod minus and then store it like this, mod minus and then store it in your Windows Manager, mod minus and store it in your Windows Manager. That is the only way for you to see all of them. Okay, you can also make mode here in here. In this case, this mode for resizing container. I think this came by default, so when I hit mod shift R, this will give me mode so that I can do this with my Windows that I'm currently on. Very funny. I honestly think it's useless, but yeah, it's a pretty cool thing to have. You can also have opacity here. In my case, I set opacity 0.8 for the windows with the app ID called foot, and you can put lots of other stuff here, such as Firefox or Qt browser, whatever you want to use, with opacity, of course. If you don't want to use opacity, then just don't do them. And in here, I also have this thing where if I hit mode Z, the opacity will be plus 0.02 before after the previous one. So let's say this one is 8. When I hit mode Z, it will be 0.02. So it would look like this when it has reached 1. It's gonna be black. It's gonna be just the color without the transparency. When I hit mode X, it's gonna show just white. It's gonna show nothing. It's fully transparent now. That's when it has reached 0. I also have this mode called opacity where I bind this 0 in my keypad so that it set the opacity to 1. Now you can see this here, mode shift 0, and this will go to 1 and to the number like that. And for the status bar, I actually use i3 blocks. I think pre-installed it's going to come with SwayBar or WayBar. I'm not quite sure, but in i3 blocks you can actually do a clickable module, so that's why I'm using it. Wow, I'm in Bekasi, I'm so cool. And then Pipewire is also working in Alpine Linux, by the way. So if you're wondering, and if you're wondering if Pipewire is working flawlessly in Alpine Linux, it does. If you want to use Alpine Linux, you should use it if you like to have a minimal installation. It does have quite a backfire to you because you're not using the full version of the latest version of the program that you're using. But I honestly think you can do lots of other stuff in here, lots of normal stuff, like let's see, I haven't set this thing properly, and CMP/CPP, I think this works, I'm not quite sure. Let's see, the desktop audio is pretty low, that's good. And CMP/CPP, let's see, let's use nameless, why not? Yeah, it works. See, I don't know if you can hear it or not. Alright, let's not get copyrighted, shall we? Now in Wayland you can also have a I don't know what you should call this, image preview, right? You can have image preview in this. Now as you can see, with this kind of opacity you cannot actually see the background very well since it's opaque, so I just put mode shift O and put 0 there. Now I can see my waifu well, right? By the way, I made this kind of video before. I just haven't uploaded it. This was in, I think it's 2 days or 3 days ago. So yeah, that's pretty funny. I just figured I don't want to upload it, so whatever. Anyway, this is about Sway. It has been quite an adventure, obviously. Some of you might be already interested in Sway or other Windows Manager because of how nice it is, that you don't have to resize everything yourself. Or maybe you just like to be keyboard centric and don't want to use your mouse, because there is another thing another Windows manager named Rat Poison, and I think that's pretty funny because rat is the other word for mouse, right? So rat poison means that it kills the rat. You don't have to use the mouse to actually use your OS. That's I think that's funny. So yeah, I'll just end this video here. Don't forget to hit the like button if you do enjoy it. In any case, I'll see you in the next video. See you later, everybody. Happy hacking.